Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. In this video, I want to talk about Ronald Acuna and whether right now is a good time to buy his cards or not. Before we start, if you are a baseball card, sports card, trading card fan, then this is the channel for you. We post 2 to 3 times exclusively about this content, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. So as you all know, Ronald Acuna Jr. is hurt right now. He tore his ACL middle of July, I think it was July 10th, and he will be out the rest of this year and the beginning of next year. This brings up a really important question. Should we buy his cards? Is this a dip? Is this a buying opportunity? Or should we be worried about his future potential and his future numbers enough not to buy them right now? One thing I will say is don't sell right now. I don't think right now is a great time to sell regardless of what happens. But the answer to should you buy? Yes and no. And I'll explain in this video why I feel which way, when I think is the right time to buy, and whether or not it's a smart investment. So let's just jump into a few statistics around Ronald Acuna. I will not spend too much time here, but I want to just talk about his peripherals and see if he really could come back and have the same performance. So one thing that Acuna does have in his arsenal is speed. He's a true 5-tool player, and speed will be slightly hurt by this. It may not be. I remember when Adrian Peterson blew his knee out, had the same ACL tear, came back, and he was just the same, if not better. So let's just look at Acuna. Other than that, though, I think some of these numbers are going to be consistent. I think he'll be able to bounce back. He's only in his age 23 season. He is 24, but age 24 season will actually be next year when he starts the season as a 24-year-old. But regardless, up to this point, he has 2 All-Star appearances. He's a top 5 MVP voter, 2 Silver Sluggers, Rookie of the Year. He's just really good. We can see he's a top 15 MVP candidate every year. This year, he'd have been probably a top 5 again. On top of that, every year besides this year, it's funny, the year he was a top 5 MVP candidate, he actually had his worst OPS plus, because that's compared to league average and adjusted for ballpark factors. But this year he's actually having his best year statistically. He was on pace for 47 home runs, 34 stolen bases, and a 7 WAR season. 8 WARs considered basically MVP level. If Tatis isn't going to finish the season, he was at 5 right now, then realistically 7 could have won the MVP relatively easily. If we scroll down, I just want to look at a few more things with Acuna. He actually has a lot of good peripheral outside of just basic numbers. You can see his most similar seasons by ages. His age 21 season was very similar to Frank Robinson's age 21 season. His age 22 season was similar to Juan Soto's age 22 season. His age 23 is similar to Cody Bellinger's age 23 season when he won the MVP, when he was actually good. Now who knows what's wrong with Bellinger. But regardless, all these things make me think that he'll be fine. Like, he was on a Hall of Fame path. He actually averages 6 WAR per 162 games. The average Hall of Famer averages 5.1 WAR for 162 games. The thing with Acuna is he's only 23 years old, actually 24 now, but in his age 23 season, and that number will go up. It'll be around 6.5 to 7 in his peak. So that all is fine and dandy. Let's just dive into a little bit of batted ball, exit velocity, and things like that. Red is good. If you have red, that is a very good thing. He leads the league essentially almost in everything aside from whiff percentage. His K rate is relatively average. He strikes out quite a bit is what that means. And his outfield jump, meaning how quick he can actually read a ball off the bat. The K percentage used to be a lot worse. He's actually worked on that part of his game. And his chase rate, this is what impressed me with Acuna this year. He was actually looking a lot more disciplined at the plate compared to 2 years ago in the full 2019 season. When he had that full season when he had the lower OPS plus, he is not chasing as much. Another thing that I love about Acuna is the fact that this is his spray chart. These out here are home runs. You can see he will take whatever pitch is given to him and drive it wherever he has the opportunity to do so. That's going to be really good for his numbers, and that is not something that an ACL will most likely affect. A lot of these numbers, power, average exit velocity, all these things are going to be not affected. What you're going to be looking at is the sprint speed in the 97th percentile, meaning he's one of the best in the league with sprint speed. That may drop a little bit. It's tough to say. It may stay the same. I bet it will drop probably, down to what, 80 percentile? Oh no, that's still really good. Overall though, I want to just compare him to a few other players. Let's look at Nolan Arenado. He's having a relatively rough year. Look at his actual statistics compared to Acuna. He has a couple things in the red, but overall he doesn't hit the ball that hard. Average exit velocity is not that great. He's basically becoming a pull hitter for some reason, and overall Acuna looks better than him. If we go look at Mookie Betts is actually having a good year, even though people say he's having a bad year. He has a 900 OPS, as you can see down here. Overall, he's having a good year. In comparison to Acuna, though, it's not as eye-popping. Here's Juan Soto, but I just wanted to show you this because it's beautiful. He's actually having a really good year. Regardless, between all these superstars, Acuna is by far a top batted ball player. It's obvious, and that will not be affected by his ACL. But let's look at pricing, because I think realistically, he will be fine next year. It will suck for like the length of his career that he will not have all of these numbers he'll be missing. Happens to Mike Trout all the time. He's been out basically this whole year. He only had a half year last year. Historically, though, that happens. Players went to war. Players Players get hurt. It's just a part of the game. So let's just go look at his cards. So here is his, probably my opinion, if you want to get one rookie card of Acuna, this is the one I would target. This is his 2018 Topps Bat Down rookie from Series 2. These used to be really expensive, and right now you can get some really good deals on them. So that's one card I would look at and consider. After that, there's also the gold parallel from his flagship update rookie card. This is what I'm watching right now. These go for not very much. If we go check out the sold listings, they've already started to take a tumble downwards. And so you might be thinking, should I buy now? And it may be yes, but I would say no. Do not buy right now because I think they're going to go lower. If you can win one on auction, like this is a great deal. If you can win one on auction for cheap that you feel is a comfortable price, then yes, you can go for it. But I would just say wait a little bit. And let me explain why. Let's compare Ronald Acuna to Mike Trout because Mike Trout last year had some things happen that led to a little dip. And I think these similar things will happen with Ronald Acuna. Mike Trout's team did not make the playoffs. They didn't really have a chance to. And Mike Trout basically kind of fizzled out. You know, once the offseason hit around November and October and maybe even the beginning of December, his cards were lower than they've really been in a long time before they spiked back up in anticipation of the season starting again. I'll even show a Bowman Chrome rookie, same exact situation. The difference between Mike Trout and Acuna right now, though, is Acuna, as you can see right here, is already trending downwards. But I don't think there's any reason he'll be trending back up soon unless somebody pumps him, some big influencer or whatever else. But regardless, once the Braves have a chance of missing the playoffs, which they might, then I really do think that his cards will drop even lower as he fades to obscurity. And next year there won't be the same hype just because of the fact that he won't be starting the season in spring training. He won't start the season with the Braves. He'll still be rehabbing. And so I think right like this Mike Trout graph, I think right here is going to be the perfect time to buy. Let's talk about pricing of his cards though. This Bat Down PSA 10, right now you can pick it up for about $1,500. That seems like a pretty solid buy to me. So if you went and bought this, you're technically buying the dip and I would not blame you. But if they can get down to that $1,000 mark, $1,200 range, then I think you're doing really good. If you can get a PSA 9 for $500 to $600, I'd feel really confident about that as well. If we go look at another card, this is his update. I personally wouldn't say go buy this card. I know it's his flagship. Get a parallel if you want to get this card just because there's 18,687 PSA 10s, which I think is second or third all time for how many PSA 10s are graded by PSA, which is not what you want. And on top of that, we can look at his Bowman Chrome autograph. These are getting to a price where I think they may be a buy already, but I think they could go lower. You know, in the off season, let's go look. I remember I almost bought one of these for not too much. I think right here is the one I didn't buy. It was $2,000. He's already basically hit $2,000 on July 19th. He's trending back up to $2,500. But again, if it does take that same approach as what Mike Trout happened as the team misses the playoffs, if the Braves miss the playoffs, I'm not saying they will, Braves fans, I would then attempt to buy those cards at that point. I think there's still going to be some downside to this. The market's still pretty hot. I think it will cool down. Baseball will be slowing down. Basketball will be starting with a regular season in October, which I think will only hurt baseball prices, and so will football. They'll also be starting. So all these things make me think Ronald Acuna is a buy. Yes, I think he is, but I say no just because I would wait a little bit longer because I think it could go lower. If you like the prices they're at now and you don't agree with me, totally understandable if you want to pick some cards up from where they were. You know, this card was a $5,000 card. You can get it for half the price right now or less. I think that's pretty smart, but at the same time, it could go lower. So those are my thoughts, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comments below if you think Acuna will be the same player when he comes back. Let me know if you think that he will be better, worse, whatever your thoughts are, and which card you'll be targeting. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.